Hello, guys. Welcome to my very first interview uh, tonight. And, I've got a very intriguing and a very intellectual guest with me. He's a technologist at heart. He's followed in his father's footsteps, and he's become the technological engineering director for all leading projects. He has a very acute business acumen, which he gets forth along with his technological expertise, and he leads all the projects. As a part of CREDI, he has represented India in many construction conferences and world events. He is a civil engineer and he is a technological expert. His name is Kavish Thakwani. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Kavish Thakwani. Hi,
Hi
Kavish.
Shomu. Hi
How
Shomu,
are
how are you?
you?
Good,
I'm
good.
fine. It's great meeting you, brother, after a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. After a long time, and congratulations on your first virtual interview. I guess isn't it the first time?
Yeah, yeah, it's first interview of mine, virtual interview. Okay, so I'm very interested. I have in my field, in my entertainment and advertising field. Now I'm a YouTuber. I have met a lot of personalities. I have met a lot of actors, a lot of models, but technological expert, engineer. You're the first one I'm meeting, and I'm absolutely thrilled to ask you certain questions, which will make this conversation very intriguing, very intellectual, and very interesting.
Thanks, yeah, thanks. Actually, the whole idea behind this whole drive behind technology is basically I'm a civil engineer by profession. Yeah, but
Yeah.
from the moment I've come into my company, it's called Avishkar. Since I've joined, it's been about 8 years now, and it's been like we've tried to turn it the 180 degrees to match the technology that is going every day, every week something new comes out here. So that was the whole idea behind it, and it's also to influence other people that what technology can do to your life and how it should be used.
Okay. Okay. So, so let us start off with few questions. Basis your topic of discussions and how it can be related with the conspiracy theories that one might have. So first and foremost, in the construction business, what are the new techniques in which environment health is promoted?
So basically, there is no official, like this is not taught to you in any institute or in any engineering degree as to what how construction is becoming more and more environmental centric, probably every week. So one of the few things that we really focus on is, so the structures are basically made out of reinforced cement concrete. Now, the whole idea is that we have to reduce the cement content in construction overall, because cement has a very high carbon footprint. When I say carbon footprint, I mean manufacturing of cement emits a lot of carbon dioxide, which is a
Oh,
global warming gas. Yeah. So we are trying to use processed fly ash. So fly ash
oh,
can replace cement up to 20 to 30%.
oh, okay.
And reinforced cement concrete also has this thing where it is an exothermic reaction, in the sense that it emits heat. So the more fly ash you had, the lesser the heat it is emitting. I think we got enough of heat in the atmosphere right now. Everybody's feeling the heat.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everyone's feeling it.
So exactly, and imagine the volume if every person who's doing construction, if they start adopting this, and it is cheaper, mind you. Fly ash can be used right from your, the concreting that you do to the plaster that you do. It can be used everywhere. So fly ash is this
Yeah.
magic material which very few people know about. In fact, if you see, fly ash has got a lot of lime in it. So lime was used by our ancestors. If you see all our old buildings, they had a lot of lime in it.
Yeah.
So one is that. Then we are also using we're also using, so right now the steel that we are using, we get a certificate from our supplier, which is basically a recycled steel.
Oh,
New steel
okay.
is not manufactured. So again, manufacturing of steel, huge carbon footprint, too many gases being given out. So imagine all the steel that is collected and then you make construction steel out of that. So that is a
Ah.
huge. I mean, if you start calculating, we're doing a carbon footprint study right now, which I should be putting up very
Oh.
soon for our project, which we are doing in Kharadi. And the carbon footprint on that is going to be quite amazing. Then
Hmm.
the other thing that we're in all the new projects that are coming in, there's a lot of focus on allowing light to come in, but not heat.
Oh. Okay.
Like if you
Okay.
see during the summer when it's 10 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning, the heat entering your house is, it's killing.
It's absolutely, it's like one, if you're on the higher floors, you're like, you're getting all the heat,
Yeah,
and if you're on the
it's
lower
finished.
floors,
So
yeah.
no, but on the lower floors again, there's not that much of wind coming in, so that also makes a difference. So basically, providing the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
shade
Yeah.
at the right spaces. So a lot of analysis on that, where the design aspect comes in. And the next thing that we are also focusing on is whatever material that we are using. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
mostly, like for example, we are eliminating wood. If you see our door frames, we don't use
Yeah.
wooden door frames anymore. We use cement boards,
Yes.
which is again recycled cement.
Yeah. Yeah.
And cement
Correct.
board does not have any expansion contraction. So imagine
Okay.
you having wood. Wood expands in contract, so you'll always see that your door frames always are, कुछ तो crack वैक हो रहा है, कुछ issue हो रहा है. Cement boards don't have
Mm.
that problem, and they are
Yeah.
completely made in the factory and got to you. So again, you
Oh.
are saving. Imagine the amount of dust when you do woodwork on site. The
Mm.
little bit of dust that is there in the atmosphere. All that dust is your skin or all the basically sawdust.
Oh. Oh.
फैक्ट्री
Interesting.
में करते हो तो फैक्ट्री में कंट्रोल्ड एनवायरनमेंट रहता है. तो
Yeah.
whatever is coming on site, we are trying to get from the factory only, and बाबा फैक्ट्री से लाओ और बिठा दो.
Oh. Also, you guys might be having, other than the planning of the flats, and the, the positioning of where it should be, attracting less
Hmm.
heat. Also, you guys might have this thing about, solar power, then solar power, using the solar power,
Hmm.
or using the rainwater harvesting, and all these things.
Oh, those are mandatory. Matlab, those are something which we don't really talk about anymore because we feel it is normal now.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
For us,
yeah.
yeah, because so we really focus on recharging the borewell in all our projects. That can only be done through
Oh,
rainwater harvesting. And
yeah.
when you do that, basically you see the borewells in various societies, they don't have water left in the summer. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
if you harvest the rainwater properly, you have ample amount of water. You don't need to order tankers or anything. None of that is required.
That's that's
But
that's
that is
really
something
interesting.
that we any, yeah, it's like for us it is like eating food. And a solar PV, like we are
Yeah.
doing right now. The norm we are following is 50% of our terrace will be having solar panels, which will be generating electricity. So we will be trading with the
Oh.
MSCB, where there'll be a net meter, where we'll be trading with the MSCB. We'll suppose we give them 10 units of power. तो उतना 10 units हमारे सोसाइटी के बिल में से एडजस्ट हो जाता है. It's called net metering.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So that
That's
saves
really
on your light
interesting. Yeah.
bill, and
There's a lot of.
solar panels have got a life of 25 years. Huh?
Oh, nice. And you said something saves on your light bill. Oh my God, folks, hear this out. Every month, every month, people just say, "Oh my God, the light bill is this much." This is interesting.
No, actually, if you go to, I don't
Yeah.
know, you are also staying in a society. The society maintenance is
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
big burden right now,
Yeah.
and almost 50 to
Abs-
60% of that is just electricity bill.
Electricity bills. Then you have the water tax, society maintenance bills. I mean.
So
Yeah, that's
imagine if you had rainwater harvesting, you had water throughout the year. If you have solar power, you
yeah,
have your electricity bill
yeah.
reduces. We also, so we basically in our last project we tied up with Swatch. Yeah, Swatch is an organization which has got 5,000 rag pickers as their members, and they basically handle all
Oh,
the garbage of Pune.
oh.
They are the ones who manage the entire garbage. So they have a very interesting thing where your wet garbage, they have this container where they layer it properly, and that becomes
Hmm.
khat, which is manure. Yeah, which they'll give it
Yeah.
to you that you can use it in your own society. And the dry garbage they
Okay.
go out and they sell.
Oh, oh, nice.
So that is one unique way in which we are processing our garbage as well. It is the most sustainable way. There is no moving parts. Other places you've got those garbage treatment plants where the wet garbage is processed and made smaller and all. None of that. It's completely natural, completely sustainable.
Very nice. A lot of system is coming into place here in India. Good to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the system, see, we have to also understand going and copying foreign technologies is not the way. What we do is we go
Okay.
copy something. वो वहाँ पे चलता है, यहाँ पे चलना चाहिए ना.
Ah, yeah.
So it's very important
Exactly.
that if we are, if first of all we need to look back to our ancestors. I think they were brilliant. The way they
Yeah.
used lime, the way their architecture, Vastu. If you follow Vastu, I think your
Yeah.
70% green comes from Vastu.
I think a lot of natural resources were used nicely earlier on, which is not the case nowadays.
No, basically, if you read more and more, why I follow Vastu is because of the architecture. So there's a very simple
Hmm.
thing. It's common sense. Hot air rises up, cold air comes niche se, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the center of any building is called a Brahmastan. That is the center. That means
Okay.
you take from one corner, you take a diagonal, you take a diagonal from the other corner. The central portion is called the Brahmastan. In all
Okay.
the old buildings of India that you see, the central portion is
Hmm.
always kept open. That is why we have
Yes.
ducts in the middle. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
that has
Yes.
that originated from Vastu 5,000 years ago. Can you imagine?
Oh, that's really amazing.
So yeah, I mean, I think if we just follow what is our our old methods and basically old लेके उसको नया बनाओ instead of trying to adopt. Now, for example, I find it very shocking. We've got these glass skyscrapers. Yeah, glass
Hmm.
skyscrapers are used abroad for sunlight to come in because they don't have sunlight.
Yes.
We have got no
Yes.
shortage of sunlight. We put the glass facade. We like the sunlight to come in, and अंदर से हम लोग AC डालते हैं. मतलब, it's so stupid.
Hmm.
Why would you have that?
Glass facades are not for India. It's for
Yeah,
colder countries. Yeah.
exactly. Then also हम लोग, see, if the customer demands it, it will come into the market. The customer has
Yeah.
to demand it.
In
If
Bombay, it's like
Yeah,
spread like wildfire. Glass facade buildings.
wildfire, but you are also,
It's
मतलब glass facade buildings आप electricity bill भी बढ़ा रहे हो. What electricity bill they pay? बाप रे,
बढ़ा रहे.
वहाँ पे तो it's crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, you are
Absolutely.
digging your own grave in that. So small things in these construction as you keep doing. Also, one more thing that we really focus on is whenever we try not to dig too much into the ground. Yeah, we don't really go too much into the ground. Like, we avoid basements as much as we can unless it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
So
That's
the reason behind that is when you dig, you are removing material from the earth that causes
absolutely.
dust. It creates a slight imbalance.
That's true.
So
That's
we,
true.
we, we we try to maintain the natural gradient. We don't try to touch the gradient of the piece of land anywhere. We try to keep it as naturally flowing as possible. Yeah. And
That's
yes,
true.
one
That's
thing, I think the one biggest thing which has worked for me is if I see a spot anywhere, I plant a tree.
nice. Nice.
ट्री प्लांट करने को क्या लगता है, 200 रुपया लगता है.
Absolutely.
So the
Absolutely.
last project we did, we planted 220 trees. The latest project we're doing in Kharadi, I think we'll be planting somewhere around 400 trees overall.
That's really nice. Oxygen. Nice. Nice.
No, I think
Good.
more than shrubs, and we always think. we think about shrubs being the mainstay, shrubs and everything. Stop planting shrubs, just plant a tree everywhere. 6 महीना उसको मेंटेन करना पड़ता है. After that takes care of itself. And local trees, I think वो local trees का एक list है online. I think वो किसी ने local tree plant कर दिया ना तो बात बन जाएगी. I think every person can do it. It's
That's
not a big deal.
oh, nice. Okay, that was really interesting. I think we can move on to the next question, which will be more interesting and more intriguing. How do you see? I think.
Hello.
Hello, hi, Kavish. You got
Hi.
cut. Hi.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
for a
Sorry.
slide.
So no
Yeah.
problem, no problem.
Go on.
I'll move on to the next question. How
Yeah.
do you see the current economic system of the world? Do you think this system will, how it will be post Corona? How do you see the current economic system and how it will be post Corona? That's the basic question.
So basically, what I have been seeing of late is that we expect a lot of tech startups to come in because the
Yes.
way we work has changed, and I think even the smallest Baniawala is going to digitize himself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right from his banking to his inventory to everything, and I think with the digitization, you're gonna have these startups coming in, which will make it click of a button, you'll have everything on the platter. So I think
Hmm.
that is one way. Digitization is one very big change. Second big
Hmm.
change is the labor class getting its due. I
Hmm.
think when these
Yeah.
migrants went away from the city, we realized we are
Uh,
nothing without them.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
skilled labor, if you see abroad, I
Uh,
think we need to realize that people doing the groundwork are the real people who are driving the system. It's a
uh,
bottom to top approach.
uh,
So we need to
yeah.
take more care of
Absolutely.
them. Second thing in the economic system is I think there'll be more strive for equality, more
Uh,
openness to equal opportunity, which I think is coming in next. So these are the three things that I feel which will be the biggest impact on the economic system.
Well, I mean, what do you think, other than tech startups and the things you mentioned? I was just having an intrigue about the situation post Corona. About I was thinking from the construction real estate point of view. Real estate has been a bit down for quite a few years. I was just talking from the financials and the market scenario. Do you think people would love to have private spacious flats, just some builders like Lodha call it COVID resilient flats? uh, do you feel a lot of other builders also will follow that norm because it's really working? uh, it's a positive thing and people are buying that. So
So
do you think so?
again, I'll just slightly correct you. The real estate market was not. You can't call it down. People say it's down
Okay.
because they relate it to the period from 2010 to 2012 or 2005 to 2010, where real estate
Yes.
went from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. Now we've become a
Yes.
lot more organized. There is a stable growth of probably 7 to 10% a year, which is your average industry growth is 10 to 13%. So we are becoming
Yes.
organized. Yeah. Commercial real estate has been doing fantastic in the last, if you see the last 5, 7 years, there has been an average growth of about 20% in commercial assets. That includes offices and
Oh,
shops.
nice.
Re-
Oh,
Residential,
nice.
the government, I'm a big fan of Modi's Housing for All initiative, and I think it was
Okay.
required. The government's policies are to make housing affordable. You cannot keep having
Yes.
the
Yes.
prices going up.
No,
And
no, no.
COVID resilient homes and everything. See, COVID resilient homes is all good, but once the vaccine comes and COVID goes, COVID resilient homes isn't really going to. be a thing, because the problem is affordable housing. The problem is not COVID resilient homes. The problem is
Yes.
affordable housing.
Hmm.
There is a
Affordable
shortage
housing.
of
Yes.
20
Money.
million homes all over the country. Yeah, 20 million homes. मतलब एक साइड पे आप बोलते हो रियल एस्टेट फ्लैट्स नहीं बिक रहे हैं, और दूसरे साइड पे there is a shortage of 20 million homes.
Oh.
So the equation
That's
doesn't match.
absolutely, absolutely correct. Okay, that was
and
really nice,
and
really intriguing.
and
Yeah,
also a little more in the, when we are doing affordable housing, we need to make it worthwhile. There's got to be a lot more thought into, because what we do is, वो चाइना में प्रॉब्लम है, अमेरिका में प्रॉब्लम है, हाँ, उसका उन्होंने वहां का सोल्यूशन निकाला है. Same way here,
yeah,
for our affordable housing, we need a local solution. It can't be a foreign solution.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next question. Uh, how has Corona affected the buying property capacity of people? Do you think any difference over there? Like we were talking about the last question about how the housing fraternity will do. You said it's not really down, but has Corona affected the buying capacity of people? I mean, I know affordability is an
Absolutely.
issue. Yeah,
Absolutely. No, no, absolutely. See, where so many industries have had so many job losses, the
yeah,
buying capacity is going to be hit temporarily. But I have also seen, and whenever anybody loses their job, they need to get rehired. If they're getting rehired, then there's no problem. Yeah,
yeah,
that shift always happens. Yeah, so
yeah,
I'm seeing that they're also getting rehired, but the fact that they've lost their jobs, and rehiring में थोड़ा time लगता है, that uncertainty is there. So definitely the buying capacity is affected, but that is only a temporary problem. Yeah, that will just last
hmm,
for the next few months, and then we are back on track. Regarding the second thing, I'm also seeing a lot of clients are waiting for, they feel that the prices will, kind of drop, prices will go lower, they will get a better deal. But I always tell this in real estate that don't always look for rock bottom. You don't know when it will rise up. You'd rather take a chance right now. I think right now is probably the sweetest spot that you can take right now. And if you also want to wait, you can always, book a property and probably register it 2 months from now. How does that matter? So I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
that wait and watch game is definitely there. And yes, that buying capacity is affected, but it is only temporary.
Temporary. Okay, that's really, it's quite what do you call, a relief to hear that. That's what. Okay. So now, since all companies have opted for work from home scenario, now let's move on from residential buying to commercial buying. Now, since all companies have more or less announced, most of the companies have announced work from home scenario for their employees. What do you think is the future for office spaces, commercial spaces?
See, I've been talking to multiple IT companies, and I've got my friends working there. A lot of office people also. So many of my fellow entrepreneurs. Um, Work from home is maximum. You can have 30% of your employees in a large organization. Maximum 30%. Because even if, like, okay, I always take this example of IT companies, because they have these large people, and people is what drives IT companies. It's a service
Yeah.
company. Just imagine, this happened with me. My architect sent me a drawing, yeah, and I could not, through the Zoom call, I could not sit down with my project manager and discuss it. It was just impossible. I had to meet him face to face to just discuss the drawing. Now,
Oh.
IT companies are coding these programs and these softwares which are thousands and lakhs of pages, and they all have to coordinate. Like, you have 20 developers and you have one architect above them who makes the
Hmm.
entire software work. Now, just imagine you have to coordinate with them on Zoom. It's not Zoom or any other video calling app. You, I, एक घंटे का काम 5 घंटा लगता है. So it's just a very temporary thing.
I
In
know.
fact, the New York Journal has already put a statement in that they're realizing that work from home is a bad idea, and you're already seeing WeWorks again starting to lease co-working spaces on a large scale again. So I think it's just work from home hype. I mean, imagine reading a drawing and discussing a drawing was so difficult. Imagine them
Yeah.
reading lakhs and lakhs of pages together. It's
Yeah, that
impossible.
becomes a problem for coordination. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And in any service company, time is money. So if you're going to 1 घंटे का काम को 5 घंटा लगेगा, it's just not going to work.
A lot of time gets wasted. People, but you know something. A lot of travel times gets saved. At least in cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi. Imagine Chennai. A lot of travel time takes up a lot of time. You know, through traffic, 2 hours to work, 2 hours back home. I'm sure even in Pune, it's like half an hour, 45 minutes nowadays. Earlier, it might have been a bit different. Don't you think it compensates that?
Not really, because that's why I said 30% can remain at home, so you can have that rotation. But I think public transport is coming
Okay.
up in a big way with the way the metros are being done, and it's a matter of time. Like another 10, 20 years, if we continue with our infra drive the same way we're doing it right now, I think all that 2 hours will become 1 hour, and you'll start basically opting. See, the office space desk is going to be required. भले ही let it
Yeah.
fluctuate, work from home कभी रहेगा, कभी आपको office नहीं आना पड़ेगा. So all that will happen, but don't expect traffic to reduce. Yeah, even if it takes 2 hours to reach office, at least 8 hours तो काम
I
होता
was
है.
coming to that. I was coming to that. Yeah, I was coming to that.
I
Yeah.
mean, Delhi, everybody thought metro will come or traffic will reduce. I think it's become 5 times worse.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
please understand, we have a population of 1.4 billion people, out of which,
Hmm.
for the first time, 55% of the country is staying in urban areas, and it is only increasing. And
Okay.
out of the 1.4 billion people, 80% of them are below the age of 25 or 20 or 25. One of 80%. Me and you, Shomu, we are in the minor category.
Yeah,
So we have a young
absolutely.
population. It's high consumerism, high drive, high ambition. So you're just going to see the cities become bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. Everywhere. Bigger and bigger, and suburbs gets into further into the interiors. It extends. Cities extends into the interiors nowadays. Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
mean, we have, I mean, just if you talk about cities in general,
Yeah.
I'm not going off topic, but I'm just telling you how development will keep happening
No, no.
and why work from home
Yeah,
is not a
yeah.
possibility, because every city, we're going to have probably 5, 6 mega cities in the next 10, 20 years, which will have their own towns in it. Yeah. So right now, a new concept
Yeah.
is coming that you live up and you work down, but an office will still be required.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now when you
Yes.
when you have
Absolutely.
this, right now Pune is 6,000 square kilometers. Bangalore is around
Yeah.
7,000 square kilometers. MMR, Mumbai Metropolitan Region, is 8,000 square kilometers, and Delhi NCR is 10,000 square kilometers. Yeah. Just Pune as an example for
Absolutely.
future growth, only 1,000 square kilometers of Pune is actually developed out of the 6,000
Hmm.
square kilometers.
Absolutely. Oh,
So you're going
that's
to
a lot
have
of.
people flowing in, and they will need places to sit. Nobody's going to sit at home and work forever. That is
Yeah,
just not possible.
that's true. That's true. It really takes a lot of paradigm shift to make everyone work at home without a pandemic or without anything of such happening. People are dying to go out. Yeah. When the vaccine comes, I
I think
just can imagine.
not only about dying. I think for any person, and they're staying with their family, the getting out is also a change of environment.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, imagine sitting in one place the entire day looking at the same four walls. I think that itself is a depressing thing.
absolutely, absolutely, very much. Yeah. Okay, that was really nice. I think one thing you got to admit, there's another question which will again ask you, again, what do you prefer, the new normal or the old normal?
So see, I'm always a believer of change. Change is the only constant. So I always believe the new normal should always. If there is no new normal, there will be no progress. There will be no growth. There will be no. innovation. So I think new normal should keep happening. I think we need
Absolutely.
more new normals at regular intervals, because the if you throughout history, if you read history, whenever we've been stale in our ability to change, we've always digressed instead of progressed. We've gone backwards.
Abs-
As a society in
Absolutely.
general, like when it
Yes.
comes to all aspects of society. So I think the new normal is required, and for India, I think we as a country, we need new normals on. I think every year, if you could do a new normal, I think that would be good.
So that is, you know what, a lot of people will be asking over here. What is wrong with these guys? Why are they saying new normal? That means you need more pandemics? Oh, no, no, no.
Not pandemics. See, sadly, we
Yeah,
need a pandemic for us to start thinking about change. I think that is wrong. I think we
that
need to
is sad.
start
That
being
is sad.
more. Yeah, we need to be more mindful, and we need to realize that we need to change. So the way India is a very unique country. I mean, it's got 16% of the world's population, but only 3% of the world's fresh water. It's got the density of population is very very high. We are a much lesser land area than China, but same population. We have a much more younger population which is going to consume. See, consumption doesn't mean money. Consumption means resources. You pay money for those
Yes,
resources.
yes,
But if you're
yes.
going to use them up so fast, then it's not sustainable.
Absolutely,
So, and
absolutely.
this has been said for the longest time that we need to come up with the new normal. We will be the ones making the new normal in the next 10 years, because we'll have the most
Yeah,
innovative solutions to everything. The same way the IT industry, India is the king in IT industry. I think that's what's going to
yeah.
happen to every industry if we start recognizing that we are the ones who have to bring the new normal.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not about only manufacturing automobiles. It's about IT and yeah, and also
No,
mobile
it's
phones and
everything, a
all the
lifestyle
PVC.
change. I'm talking about a
Yeah,
lifestyle change.
lifestyle change. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Not only these. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, look at the biggest example of it is Amul. Actually, Amul as a milk company has done. Gosh, you have to read their history, what they've done. It's amazing.
yes, Dr. Korean's history. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
amazing,
they,
amazing.
they've eaten alive competition that are juggernauts in the world.
Yeah,
Maruti,
yeah,
Another big Indian success. So Suzuki is like fifth or sixth ranked in Japan. Yeah, but
yes, yes.
Maruti Suzuki India influences Suzuki Japan's decisions. They're that big.
Oh, oh, nice.
And then you've
Really
seen
intriguing.
what Geo has done off late. Geo has taken the market and done, flipped it over. And again, in a very, I
Absolutely.
think, Dhirubhai Ambani, God bless his soul, he had this thing of, make it common for everybody. We got a 1.4 billion people are our customers.
Yes, yes.
That's how,
Absolutely, absolutely. Really nice, really interesting. Yeah. Which brings us to the next question. Do you think any kind of monopoly of companies is good for Indian economy and for its people?
So, you must have read about India and us being in the socialist era of the 70s,
Hmm.
where all banks were nationalized overnight. We had private banks, but in 1970, Indira Gandhi came in, okay, all banks are nationalized. What did it do? We had only BSNL in the 80s. We didn't have any other telephone company. We
Yes.
had, till now, we've got only one company for power in Pune at least. In Bombay, you've got options, but in Pune, it's still
Yeah,
one
yeah,
company. Yeah. What did the monopoly do? In 1991, we almost had a crisis because we
yeah.
had a socialist economy, and um, that's what free trade is. What is the best thing for any country?
Any economy to
Free
thrive.
trade means
Yeah.
any economy. The Russia, communist country. everything state owned, no competition. It collapsed.
Yeah,
China, if you
absolutely.
see, is a communist country, but they have a very capitalist economy.
Yeah, yeah,
Free trade
absolutely.
and competition is what has brought down airline prices. It is what has got the whole internet revolution. That is why 11 cents. I mean, in the world, we are the cheapest. 11 cents for 1 GB of data.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
that's
In
really
fact, even
nice.
power, more and more. If you see in Gujarat, Adani provides gas pipelines to all over the state,
Yeah.
and they've got other companies also, like other private companies that are competing with each other. So free trade, monopoly will always destroy economies. It has to be free trade. It has to be regulated properly to ensure that there is competition. That's why we have the Competition Commission of India.
And I think also if you have a monopoly of any particular organization in any country, I think it brings in a lot of monarchy kind of a situation that used to happen in when the kings and queens used to rule. You know that that particular organization may have the say in everything, whether it's the equity markets, whether it's the say in everything, political scenario, whether it's corruption, everything that really plays into the hands of them, and and, and it brings out the situation as in the poor gets poorer, the rich gets rich. You know that thing happened. So if there are competition, then he will not have the say in everything. I guess this is another aspect that monarchy situation should not be there.
So if you see right from BSNL to State Bank of India to LIC to which other one? ONGC to MSEB, Maharashtra State Electrical Board. BSNL, when it was the only one, you would get a connection after 2 years. Hmm?
Oh,
You would get
oh,
you. My father used to get cement from the government. He used to get one bag at a time. Today there's
oh,
competition on cement. Yeah. If you see SBI, when SBI was the only bank, you wouldn't get loans from anywhere. Yeah.
oh.
When Air India was the only airline rates were through the roof, flight tickets. So whenever you have that one company, it's going to kill the entire aspect of free enterprise, of lack of less corruption. We tried the socialist agenda, but when you in the socialist agenda you made everything state was the monopoly. What happened?
Yeah,
Corruption increased. It was a monarchy only, no? You didn't allow anything else to
yeah,
open.
absolutely, absolutely. Until
I'm
1991.
sure exactly until 19. I mean, we were literally forced to. Had 1991 not come, we would not have opened the economy. Can you imagine that?
Absolutely. We wouldn't have been where we are.
I think we would have gone 20 years back because uh,
Yeah,
uh, it's so. I mean, it takes so much of time for that one change.
absolutely.
One change takes 20-25 years.
Yeah, lot of hard work, lot of discoveries, a lot of precision, a lot of planning. It gauges the entire gamut to bring up an economy. Yeah,
No, and where I feel bad is that had we not had a socialist economy, I mean, look at Germany and Japan. They were destroyed in World War II. They had
absolutely,
cities wiped out.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
today, look at them. I mean, Germany is so next level, and Japan, in spite of being hit by typhoons, earthquakes, pata nahi, it's become normal for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing they always had was free trade.
Hmm. Yeah, that's why they survived.
And they've excelled. I think they've done a great job. And
Yeah.
that's why I think we missed the bus, the whole era from the 50s to 1991, where we
Hmm.
we didn't have free enterprise, and we need leaders also to promote that. And I think we need to demand it. The day we demand free enterprise and that we're ready to work for what we want, then I think that situation will never come where a monopoly can be there.
I guess if from the 50s till 1991, if suppose our economy would have been open, like FDI would have opened instead of 1991, if it would have been opened by 55 or whatever 50 or 60, I think we would have been almost at par with some of the leading economies of the world. Not be like fourth or fifth. We would have been at maybe the best, or if not the second best. What are your
Yeah,
views on that?
absolutely. The best by far, because see, consumerism, like to get to we, if you see the standard of living from 1950 to 1991, there was no substantial change. And
Absolutely.
how many great companies came out of India? Tata was already there. We had only
Yeah.
one Reliance, which came. Which other company?
Yeah.
All the other companies started
Absolutely.
post 1991.
Post 9. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is
That's
the example that tells you that. And by far, I think we would have been the biggest economy by now by far. But I think
absolutely.
I like one thing about India: slow and steady wins the race. I think step by step is always good. I'm glad we experienced it.
That's why the hare and the tortoise story is always repeated.
Exactly, exactly. Well, now you can be like in America, go left, right, and center, and then all of a sudden America's facing a new problem called de-skilling. They don't have skilled manpower anymore.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's why if you
Uh,
apply for an immigration visa, they check your skill.
maybe a bit of intellectuality also is lacking. I mean,
Oh God, I
a
mean,
lot of
let's not go there because intellectuality. I think it's what you call I call it a degrading civilization.
yeah, degrading civilization. Okay. Uh, yeah. And or what do you think India is? What kind of a civilization you would like to give India the name? I mean, progressing or any
Extremely,
other than growing, because I've heard the word growing
no,
for a
no,
long time.
extremely progressive civilization. Obviously, we have a long way to go, but I think
Uh,
extremely progressive. And I just feel that we need to. That's what I'm saying. We need to set the bar. I mean, we have got so much change to do that we need to set the bar of the pace of change.
yeah, actually,
I mean,
actually,
that's how far behind
huge.
we are. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's actually that scary. I mean, we have so many problems to deal with every single day. You know,
absolutely,
every single day,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
that's what surprises me about this country. That we do so much. We do so much, and yet it doesn't seem
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. I was watching this video some days back. It was said that uh, uh, in the years to come, maybe another 10 years or another 15 years or so, the world economy will see few new powerhouses. Not China, not US. Maybe we will see Vietnam, Mexico, India. But even then, I was it was there was a study that said that here's Vietnam, and I could see the infrastructure, the level of infrastructure that they have, outstanding. Mexico, I mean, it was like a cowboy town, a cowboy place, very similar to Texas. But look at them now. I mean, they're all better than India. India is still agriculturally dependent, and yet the infrastructure on agriculture is not where it should be. I think a lot of infrastructure, construction, technology, I think a lot of emphasis should be given on that, apart from cleanliness, of course.
So, like you rightly pointed, I think that is so well said. I think you hit the nail on the spot. We are still so dependent on agriculture, and the amount of attention given to agriculture, the infra for agriculture is completely hopeless. I would say it is truly hopeless. See, when was the time? If you rewind, we only started thinking about technology when you had suddenly you're like, oh, Infosys is a world leader in IT. Oh, okay, I didn't know we could do that. That's when
Yeah,
we Infosys, TCS, 2000. When did we start thinking about it? 2005. We started thinking about it.
5, 6, yes,
2010
yes, of
is
course.
where. Yeah, 2010 is where I think computers actually started coming in. And then you had
Yeah.
the whole internet revolution. I think Geo is the one that gave internet. Geo, the move by Geo made internet accessible for everyone. Now, when
Yeah.
will infra change? When public demands it. For that, public needs to know that such infra exists.
Yes.
How will
Yes.
they get to know that? They'll
Absolutely.
only get to know that when you are sitting in some village in Uttar Pradesh and you're like, oh wow, there's this sprinkler system which is like this. I can make it from a simple pipe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that whole exposure to the internet, it has its cons, but it has too many pros. It has made everyone vigilant all of a sudden. Like today, nobody can bullshit you. You can Google anything you want with a click of a button. And that transformation, that time that is required for it to happen. Infrastructure, if China took, so if you read the history of China, Deng Xiaoping was the one who transformed China. He was the premier
Okay.
from probably 1975 to 2000 and till 1995. Yeah. But his 50-year roadmap is still being executed by Xi Jinping.
Hmm.
In
Yes.
2015, they became the second biggest economy from 1975,
Absolutely.
and they are
Yeah.
a communist country. Matlab, there are no rights and all over there. If they tell you get out, matlab get out. Nobody,
Absolutely.
there's no just so-called justice over there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if they took 20 years, I would say they took an average of 20 years to transform. I think we'll take at least 30, which I feel started in 2015. The actual change started in 2015. So you're talking about 30 years from there.
2015. That means 5 years back. Okay.
5 years back. So
Okay.
out of the 30, we still have 25 years more to go. And I think that's a good thing. See, in anything, you see any business also. If any business rises up too fast, they fall down equally fast. If any business rises gradually, it has that much of sustainability.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to take names, but yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you know
Yeah.
all of them. I mean, anything. Yeah. I mean, look, our country was built on sustainability, and we need to set the new norm. That's what I said. We are the ones who will have to set the new norm, the new normal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The new normal. Change is permanent, but new normal is what we need to think. Yeah.
Every time, I'm saying we'll have to define the new normal probably every year if needed.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we should not wait for a pandemic. It's like, oh, let the flood come, then we will go on to a higher ground. You know?
It happens in a lot of cities, for example, since you're into civil, a lot of times in the monsoon times, every year the BMC says, things, we are ready, but every year the floods happen and Mumbai submerges every year. And it's not different, it has not been different this year also. People hoped that this year, since there are not much people outside, we might have a different scenario, but the scenario was same when the rain came at first. I know, you're bang on.
So, I mean, in that matter, I just think there is a lack of political will. Yeah, and we need to start electing our people a lot more responsibly, especially at the really the local level. Yeah, we need to hold them responsible, and we need to make them realize the price of non-performance. I think Mumbai definitely needs that because you are not changing anything. If you really want change, you have to change things, and that is every responsible citizen's job here. You can't really blame it on the administration all the time if you are not changing
Yeah,
it. You don't. If the admin is not performing, change them. Simple.
absolutely, absolutely.
And Mumbaikar
That's
needs to
when
vote
that's
here.
when
I think the voting percentage in Mumbai and Pune is absolutely pathetic. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. Sorry.
yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, though it has gone up from before. I mean, last year or this year, and but yeah, traditionally it was not there, that much. Yeah.
I'm glad at
Cool,
least.
cool.
So that's why I
Uh,
said good change.
Yeah, good change, good change. Okay, so moving on. Uh, uh, what is your take on the climate change? I mean, getting everything else apart. I mean, we have been discussing about Corona. We've been discussing about real estate. A lot of time people say that the monsoon time is not as per monsoon. The reservoirs are not getting filled. Uh, we are having droughts. A lot of part of India, a lot of other parts of the world. Uh, I mean, the ice caps are melting. Uh, Maybe in some years the water levels will go up. A lot of land will go underwater. Global warming, ozone layer depleted. Uh, I mean, the hole in the ozone layer, and the all sorts of theories go around, and just everyone blames it on mankind and the growth of the industrialization and everything and every aspect of that. So, what is your take? I mean, I'm dying to hear.
So let me just correct you. The ozone layer has repaired quite a bit. I think that is the biggest. That's the reason why I still have hope in mankind. So
Oh,
we
that's
in
great.
the 70s, we banned this gas called chlorofluorocarbon, which used to go up and
Oh,
react with ozone is O3. So it used to react with the chlorofluorocarbon and deplete the ozone layer. We have managed to reverse that in the span of 30 to 40 years, and now the ozone layer is pretty much repaired. Yeah. When
oh,
it comes to climate change, because we were able to repair the ozone, climate change is real. Let's not forget. Let's first accept, okay, climate change is here. When we say climate change, what is climate change? Basically, right now the climate is changing to become warmer. Why is it becoming warmer? Because when you were a kid, you studied, 21% oxygen, 70% nitrogen, then 2 or 3% carbon dioxide, and
absolutely.
other gases. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. That means it traps heat. Yeah. First,
Yeah.
we used to read that carbon dioxide was some 3% or something. Correct me if I'm not really sure with the figures, but it has increased substantially. Why? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
everything is giving out carbon dioxide. I don't understand why. So I drive an electric car. Yeah, it is it does not have any sort of emission. It is probably the cheapest, best decision I ever made in my life. Yeah. Moment you start emitting these greenhouse gases, they start trapping more heat. Hence, the climate changes. It becomes
Yes.
warmer. When the climate becomes warmer, it traps more moisture. Yeah. Climate is more erratic. You'll be having floods as well as droughts. You'll be having inconsistent rain. You'll be having extreme heat and extreme cold.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if we don't do something about it, um, India especially, see the rest of the world
Yeah.
is definitely affected, but we will. Gosh, you can't imagine the deaths. You're seeing it in
Yeah.
China. I think China tried to make they tried some stunts where they tried to make a artificial lake, and they dug up the entire thing and they put the mud on the side, and a dust storm came and took the dust right into the city, and the entire city was filled with dust. So don't poke
Oh,
around with Mother Nature. Yeah, it actually happened.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Their groundwater has got too much of lead in it. You cannot drink the groundwater in China anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
China is a prime example of don't do take development too soon, otherwise there are going to be consequences for it. Now they suddenly started
Absolutely.
acknowledging climate change.
Yeah. And
So
I mean, some.
my hope,
Yeah.
huh, go on,
Yeah.
go on, Shobu.
No. No. So the thing is that sometimes while running, I'm just saying it as a metaphor.
Hmm.
While running, you need to take rest, take a deep breath, think, and then again run to get that gas in again. I think that's what few enterprises, countries makes mistakes.
Absolutely. And no, the main thing that we need to do to reverse climate change is a complete change in lifestyle. I think like I said, if the customer demands it, the market will get it. If we can
Yeah.
find ways to live sustainably, I think it'll be a 30 to 50-year process, but we can overcome climate change. It is not rocket science. It's just a matter, we are so
Yeah.
comfortable. I don't know, we're so comfortable in our comfort zone. Like I had to fight with my father to get an electric car. Can you imagine?
Oh.
Actually fight with him. I fought with him for almost 3 months. So I mean, I
Okay.
don't blame him. See, uh, it's a mindset. Everybody, I always take I always take everything to my father because he's from the old generation that does not, they're comfortable where they are. So if
Yes.
I
Yes.
can change his outlook, I know I can change everybody else's outlook. So I first try it on him.
And sometimes you can try reverse psychology. That works better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we need to, like we need to first accept that climate change is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then start doing, I think, every small little step that each and every one of us takes, especially in India. I think, again, like I said, we are the ones who will set the new normal. The new normal is sustainability. If you see
Absolutely.
America is all about, oh, our population is only this much, consume more. The
Yeah.
US is only 350 million. We are 1.4 billion. Even then, they are a bigger consumer market than us because they're like, आपके पास watermelon है? नहीं नहीं watermelon नहीं, jackfruit लो, jackfruit. अभी jackfruit आ जाएगा तो फिर बोलेंगे पूरा पेड़ ही ले लो. It's not sustainable. It is not the
Absolutely.
right way forward.
Absolutely. No. You need to think about sustainability going forward. Absolutely. You're absolutely bang on. Yeah.
And sustainability in every aspect, right? From the way you shower, to the
Yeah.
way the kind of products you use. Something as simple as applying sunscreen. So sunscreen,
Absolutely.
if when you apply
Even
sunscreen and you go, hmm,
no, no, you carry on, carry on. I'll say after that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So like applying sunscreen and going to the beach, you're polluting the sea. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, rather put something else. Put something like there are so many. Just Google it, यार. हर एक चीज के लिए तो Google use करते हो. तो इसके लिए भी use कर लो.
Another thing, when you brush, you should, switch off your tap. Close your tap. Otherwise, the water is running.
So
That's the
there,
basic
there was
thing.
a there was a really funny joke with COVID coming in that wash your hands for 20 seconds. They said wash your hands
So,
for 20 seconds. They didn't say leave the tap on for 20 seconds.
absolutely,
So
absolutely. That's
I don't
the catch.
understand that.
Yeah.
I struggled, like it was my personal experience. I went to wash my hands and I'm like, why can't I close the tap? What stops me from closing the tap? It feels very uncomfortable, you know. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It is uncomfortable.
and
I can
and
understand.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put soap on my hands and I'm gonna close the tap. And once I put my mind to it, I could do it. Then now it's not. It's the new normal.
It's the new normal. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Is it possible, Kavish? Is it possible to see a greener Earth in the future? In Earth, a greener environment, a greener, kind of pollution that's happening nowadays. Let me put forward. Uh, Obviously, we plant a lot of artificial trees. Artificially, we plant natural trees, natural greeneries. A lot of societies, real estate, have a lot of green living, a lot of green around them, a lot of, it's a mandate or in a lot of real estate companies also. You have, position themselves as green living. A lot of plants being planted everywhere, here and there. But still, because of the environment, pollution, a lot of people has concerns about maybe in the future we may not have that much greenery left in the world like we do now. Can we have that greenery, or can it increase? That is what I want to ask.
So if you rewind, so this has got a lot to do with government policy, to people's mindset, to see if the way what we did with the ozone layer. I'm sure we can do it with climate change. If you see back in the 90s, if you read the government documents, especially I'm talking about India specifically,
Hmm.
they wanted to expand the cities. Yeah, they wanted to utilize the land resources that they had. But now, if you see, right from the Mumbai development plan to the Pune development plan, they don't want you to go very far away from the city. They want you to build inside the
Yeah.
city only.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why even around the metro, they've allowed you to do more construction. Yeah. So government has also
Yeah.
changed its policies. For the first time, there is a Ministry of Water Resources. We have a central
Yeah.
Ministry of Water Resources, which is working on providing 24/7 water to every citizen in India for the first time by conserving. So can you imagine we harvest only 11% of the rainfall that falls in India? 11%.
Oh.
89% goes into the sea.
Oh God.
Yeah, and iske pehle nobody thought because they were like, "Arey, kya hai?" Now all of a sudden, oh, there's no water. So, anyways, coming back to
Yeah.
the point that government policies have changed. I think people are also understanding that things, the right things need to change. For example, we need to plant 1 trillion trees to overcome the carbon dioxide that is there in the atmosphere. Basically, trees are the ones who absorb major amount of the
Yeah.
carbon dioxide. They are the ones who give
Absolutely.
out oxygen.
Absolutely.
So imagine
Absolutely.
every citizen has to plant. If you're talking about 1 trillion divided by 7 billion, 7 billion is the population of the world. So you're talking about probably, I don't know, 100,000 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that. We have to plant, each
Yep.
individual
Yeah.
throughout their
Prox.
lifetime has to plant somewhere around uh, 1 lakh trees. Not 1 lakh, wait, 7 billion, 100, sorry, 1,000 trees. 100 or 1,000 trees, something like that. You have to plant between 100 and
Yeah.
1,000 trees on an average throughout your lifetime. I don't think that's
Yeah.
difficult. I think that's very easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays,
I
people
mean,
take a lot of interest in gardening also.
yeah, but gardening is not really like, so gardening is okay, it's good as a thing, you are growing plants and all. But what we need is trees. Trees are the real game changer.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I think we're doing that. If you see the plantation drives that are going on, but that has started 5 years back. Yeah. If pollution has taken probably what I think 100 years, if you ask me, pollution to reach its
Yeah.
highest level has taken 100 years. Yeah. So I think
Yes. Yes.
removing that
Yes.
pollution will take, I think, another 100 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep. It
Now the
will.
question we need to ask ourselves is, do we have 100
Maybe
years?
more.
That is the question. Maybe more, but do we have that kind of
A
time?
lot of
We don't
people.
have that kind of time.
Yeah. No. 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 We don't. We don't. We don't. We don't.
So
That's
I
the
think
thing. I
I think
mean.
we can turn it around. You need a Greta Thunberg um, in this world. She is a little extreme, but I think that extreme is required.
Okay. Yeah. A bit of extremism is absolutely welcome sometimes. Otherwise, things don't change. Moderation,
Exactly.
things
I
don't
mean,
change. Yeah.
look at the sham. I mean, the Paris Climate Agreement is the biggest disappointment in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and America even now thinks that climate change is not real, which is
Yeah.
350 million of the most high consuming people in the world.
Absolutely. I think the best
So I mean,
consumerism in the world. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, and they don't believe climate change is real, so they're not doing anything
That's
to stop
so.
it.
Yeah. That's so sad. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but there is hope. I still say this, and India as a country will have to lead that fight to climate change. I think we are the next
Yeah.
hope. You can't expect China to do it because they've screwed up their own environment, as you can see. They're the prime example.
Yeah.
And with their
Yeah.
whole hidden media and
And
all, I
I
don't know
think
what else
more
is
so
wrong.
India can make. Yeah. I think India can make more so India can make this take the lead. Why? Because uh, a lot of in India, a lot of natural processes are applied in place of mechanical processes. Natural processes. Sometimes makes you more eco-friendly?
If you see, I don't know whether you've noticed this, but something like in Kerala, you eat on a banana leaf.
Yeah,
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 they are packaging in banana leaves all over the world right now, and we've been doing it for 5,000 years.
that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So many processes. Gosh, I mean, you go to Rajasthan, you see the way they used to conserve water naturally. You
yeah,
go to Karnataka, they've got that tunnel system. Yeah. You got, I think, if you see in Pune itself, the way the Maratha Empire got water to the city, very
yes,
interesting the way they did it.
yes, absolutely,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
superb the way they did it. And I mean, this whole thing where we feel that Western techniques are better. Oh, there are so many things that are there in our country that we can make the face of beating climate change. So many methods.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just need to take the initiative, I guess, and the initiative by the governments, by the organizations, by the bodies.
I would say every responsible citizen needs to start demanding it. I think even if 80% of us demand it, then it'll come.
Yeah,
I mean, if we can
yeah,
make
yeah.
TikTok the largest video streaming app in the world, then I'm sure we can make beating climate change the next big action in the world.
Yeah, and PUBG, one of the biggest games in the world. Now all that is
Exactly.
history now, though. Yeah,
Yeah, all that is
yeah,
history, but I think if we can do that, then I'm sure we can do this. And surprisingly, if you live a sustainable lifestyle, it's a
ah,
blissful
ah,
lifestyle. Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
I
Absolutely,
mean, I
absolutely.
have I mean, just imagine if you had to, every Sunday I used to, before I had an electric vehicle, every Sunday I used to go running. I used to go cycling to wherever I wanted to go. If I got to meet a friend, I used to go
Oh,
cycling there. So
that's
simple.
really nice. That's really
Yeah.
nice.
So these small tweaks in
That's
your
really nice.
lifestyle, that's all you got to do.
Absolutely. You jog, you cycle, you get the exercise you want, and you travel also. I mean, and you don't burn fuel. And what else can you ask for?
Exactly. And then even when you eat, so if you eat natural food other than the processed, I don't know
Yeah.
why we have so much of processed food, but processed food will always not do you good. If you eat green
No, no,
vegetables, it's just always better.
absolutely. That's why they say home cooked food is the best food.
And I don't know, have
Absolutely.
you had food on a chula? How the chulas used to burn. Have you had food on the chula compared to a gas?
Yeah, yeah. I did that. I did that.
You can tell the difference.
It's quite. Yeah, it is. It is. It tastes different.
Exactly. So
You
I
sometimes get
think
more
living a
nourishment,
sustainable
more
lifestyle,
nutrition.
exactly.
Yeah,
Not only more, it just tastes better. I'm not saying completely switch over to a
yeah,
chula, but once in a while you can try it. Try using the
yeah,
cycle more often.
yeah.
Try eating more green veggies.
Abs-
Um, try
yeah,
try not throwing your garbage, but using it for something. Try recycling.
absolutely, absolutely,
So, I
absolutely.
mean, once you start trying, it's all about taking the first step. I think if each of us can try, I'm sure we can really bring about a change.
I mean, this is fabulous discussion that we're having. Just one last question I want to ask you before we wind up. Uh, do you think, while we are on the topic of environment and climate change, this decision about plastic should be abolished? Do you think it will really add to the betterment of the environment?
So, if there was a news article, I think 6 to 8 months or a year back, where Swatch volunteers, Swatch has got rag pickers, right? So,
Yeah,
Swatch volunteers started saying, so only single-use plastic is banned, which cannot be recycled. And
yeah, yeah,
problem with single-use plastic is it cannot even be sold by the rag pickers. So the rag
Yeah.
pickers were rejoicing because they used to not waste their time finding single-use plastic.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
true.
think
That's
that is the biggest thing, that the change is already happening, and garbage processing is becoming
yeah.
easier. You know, a a truck full of plastic is dumped into the ocean every minute.
Oh,
Every minute,
that's
one big truck of plastic is dumped into the ocean somewhere in the world.
oh. Do you
So
think
I
that's
think
adding to
why,
the water pollution?
of course, water, that
Yeah.
so very simple. Fish will eat the plastic, you eat the fish. Plastic is coming inside you.
Yeah.
Microplastics
Yes.
have been
That's what.
found in your intestines right now.
Yeah.
I
I wanted
mean,
to make that point.
uh,
So dangerous it is. Yeah.
e-
Yeah.
exactly. So more and more we have. I think every single-use plastic should be banned all over the world. I don't know why they haven't done it. That's why India taking that first step. I'm really proud that it was done.
Awesome. Awesome. It was really nice, Kavish, speaking on all these, theories of real estate, corona, companies, where they will fare, you know, if there could be monopolies, it is good for the environment, good for the economies, climate change. Awesome it was. It was a fabulous, very holistic discussion that we had. It was really nice of you to come here, Kavish, and you handed a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge, handed over not only to me, to all the viewers over here. A lot of thanks to you, Kavish. It was great talking to you, and thanks to you, folks. It was great that you came. Kavish, you want to say anything in the last minute before we wind up?
Uh, Firstly, I would just want everyone to start demanding a sustainable lifestyle. I think that demand is really required.
Yeah.
And You know, you guys should really check out our projects. I think we're just trying to do something exciting, and if you guys can, my website is right there. If you guys can contribute to that and help
Yes.
us improve our product, why not? And last of all, Chomo, all the best to you. I heard you guys are starting a new YouTube channel, so I just hope that that goes well for
Thank you.
you. And you've been a great host. And thank you to you and your team. I think it's been a great opportunity, and I hope we can do this sometime in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kavish. And folks, please check out his website, and you'll get a lot of knowledge about him and his website. Thank you, Kavish. Thank you, folks. We will again catch later on. You come to my channel, it'll soon get launched, and see you there. Until then, good night. Adios. Thank you.
Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank
Good.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. Yeah.